Hello guys, welcome back to the CTXCLOUD, and this is the video number 8 in our training series. So today we are going to configure the StoreFront servers. So basically we are going to take two StoreFront servers and going to load balance both the StoreFront into the NetScaler. So for that let me quickly go into my physical server. So just let me take the RDP of this server. So this is my physical server, and you can see that I have created 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 virtual machines here. So this is like CTXSF server 01, CTXSF server 02. So these are two StoreFront servers which I have created. So basically these are virtual machines, and let me quickly set up these machines. So these are fresh installed servers, so I have not configured anything on these servers, so that we can see from the starting how we can configure these servers. And let me log in into my first server. So as my previous videos, again we need to set the static IP on these machines, and need to join these servers into the domain. So first of all, go to the run and type system.cpl. change the server name CTXSF SVR01, and same you need to do on second server. CTXSF SVR02. Also we need to assign a manual IP to both the servers, because in most of the production environment and also in the lab it's recommended to have a manual, or you can say that static IP on all the machines. Let me quickly change this. Go to the properties, uncheck IPv6, go to the IPv4, just enter the IP address 192.168.1.16, 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.10. so this is default gateway and DNS, as I said in my previous videos also. So now just restart the server, and the same we are going to do on a second server. Go to the properties, uncheck IPv6, select IPv4, enter the IPv4 address 1.17 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.1, 1.10. so just restart this server as well. Meanwhile it's restarting, let me go into my first server. Join this server into the domain. CTXCLOUD.in CTXCLOUD/administrator, and then the password. Okay, just reboot it, restart. Same we need to do on second server. system.cpl, enter your domain name, ctxcloud.in, ctxcloud/administrator, and then the password. Okay, it's saying incorrect. Cloud/administrator, then the password. Okay, it's in the domain. Just restart this. Now quickly go into my first server, just log in into ctxcloud/administrator, and then the password. Same do on second server as well, ctxcloud/administrator, and then the password. Cloud/administrator. So the two things we need to change here. First one is our firewall settings. So just go to the run firewall.cpl, go to the advanced settings, turn off the firewall, apply OK. The second, you need to enable RDP on this connection. Click over to the remote and allow the remote access. Close it. The same we need to do on second server as well. Firewall.cpl, and go to the advanced. Just turn off the firewall. Click on apply OK. Now we need to allow the remote access. Click on apply OK. Now let me quickly take the RDP of these servers. First is our delivery controller. This is our license server. This is our secondary delivery controller. This is our SQL database. Now let me remove remaining servers from here. Okay, let me take the RDP of CTXSF server 01. And same for CTXSF server 02. So these both are the StoreFront servers. Now we need to mount the server, I mean Citrix ISO on both the StoreFront server so that we can install the StoreFront. For that, let me quickly go on to the hypervisor, go to the settings, go to the DVD ISO, browse, and then mount the virtual apps and desktop 1912 LTSR. Click on OK, apply, and same you need to do on second server. Click on OK, apply, OK. So let me go on to my first server, browse the file explorer, go to this PC, and you can see that DVD ISO is mounted here. For that, just right click, install, and now click on start. And here we need to select on the StoreFront, so click on StoreFront. Same thing you need to do on second. Just open the file explorer on second server, go to this PC, and just click on install, and just wait, click on start, and here you need to select StoreFront server, click on StoreFront. Meanwhile, I'm going to my first server, just accept the terms and conditions, click on next, next. So these are the two ports used by the StoreFront. Click on next, and click on install. The same thing you need to do on second server, just accept the terms and conditions by the Citrix, click on next, next. So these are the two ports which is going to open. Click on next, and then install. So meanwhile, I'm going to pause this video until this installation finish. So guys, meanwhile it's installing, let me quickly tell you how we are going to configure these StoreFronts. So you can say that it's a LAN, it's a LAN network, so you can say that it's completely a LAN network. This is our office network, so we are not going to touch external environment. So how external users will work, so we are going only in this demonstration we are going to cover how internal user will access the Citrix website. So for that I am going to configure internal apps.ctxcloud.in. so this is the website for my internal users, and for the external users I am going to configure external apps.ctxcloud.in. so now we are going to discuss about the internal web URL. So all the users which are inside the LAN, so first of all they are going to request, they are putting the URL into their browser, so internal apps.ctxcloud.in. so for that the request will go to the internal DNS server, and he knows that what is the IP of internal apps, so CTXCLOUD.in he itself, and now he knows the what is the IP address of the internal apps. So for that we will create a host entry on the DNS, so I will tell you in the practical how we can do that. After that the request from this DNS server go to the NetScaler NetScaler virtual IP. so this is the virtual IP which we are going to configure on the NetScaler. After that, NetScaler knows with the help of policies that where I need to send this request. So this is my first storefront server, this is my second storefront server. So on the NetScaler we are going to configure some policies. So based on the policies which has the least loaded server, so he is going to request he is going to send the request on first storefront server or the second storefront server. And here we need to bound some policies. So this is what we are going to do in this practical. So let's stay connected with me and let me configure the storefront server. So in the storefront server we will configure this website internal apps.ctxcloud.in. first we will configure this with http. after that we will configure this https, so secure website. So let me go into my servers. So you guys can see that my installation has been finished. So click on uncheck this, click on next, same thing I'm going to do on my second server. Uncheck this and click on next. So I'm not going to open the storefront console right now. Click on finish, and the same thing I need to do on second server. Click on finish. So eject the ISO from both the servers. Click on settings and eject the ISO. Same thing you need to do for the second server. Click on settings and eject this. Click on OK and apply. So now you can see that ISO has been removed from both the servers. Now it's time to configure our first storefront server. For that, first of all, I'm going to check some settings. So make sure your date and time is matching with your Active Directory. For here I'm going to change the date and time zone. So let me select the IST. And on the second server also, let me change this. That's fine. Now let me go into my first storefront server. Go into the Citrix storefront. Same I'm going to open on my secondary storefront server. So you can see that this is the screen of my storefront server. So we are going to click on create a new deployment. So click here. Now I'm going to name my website the center internal apps.ctxcloud.in. click on next. So it's taking some time, just wait. Now click on next. Type the store name. So I'm going to CTX store. Click on next Here you need to specify your delivery controllers, so just click on add. It's working, my delivery controllers are working on HTTP, so I'm going to select HTTP and give the fully qualified domain name of your delivery controllers, CTXXTC svr01.ctxcloud.in. click on OK and add the secondary delivery controller. It's 02. Click on OK, click on OK, click on next. This option we will configure when we will configure the NetScaler gateway, so as of now this is not required. Click on next. I'm going to use username and password for the authentication. Click on next, and just click on create. So this will create a storefront URL for me. Meanwhile it will take some time, so meanwhile I'm going to pause this video. So guys, you can see that my store has been configured. Let me click on finish. Let me click on store, and you can see that this is the URL for the store. So if I will, let me copy this and let me try to access this URL. So you can see that the site cannot be reached. Okay, so now what we need to do is first of all we need to go on our DNS server. So let me go into my DNS server. Let's first of all let's create this website as in default. So set as default and create this website as in default. So click on OK, click on refresh. So let me go into my DNS server. So here is the DNS server. Just minimize this, click on DNS and click on DNS manager. Just expand this, click on forward lookup zone, and let's make a host entry of internal apps, and let me assign this 192.168.1.95. click on OK. So let me refresh this. http internal apps.ctxcloud.in. just enter this. I know this will say that the site cannot be reached because I know the exact issue, but here I want to show you exactly online how you can resolve this type of issues, because in our infrastructure these are the some common issues which we will see in the whenever we get any SAV1 or SAV2. So it's loading. I know it's trying to get the IP address, but here there is in the DNS and there is no such IP address exist in my environment as of now. That's why it's giving the error. So guys, if you have the small lab where you do not want to configure the NetScaler and the storefront, because the scenario which I am showing you is the production scenario. In my career I have configured some of the companies, configured the architecture of for the some of the companies, but here if you are doing the practice on your home lab, so maybe you do not have the sufficient resources to install NetScaler, both the delivery controllers, both the StoreFront server. So now how you can resolve this? So because it's trying to get the trying to go on 195 and there is no such IP exist in my environment. 195 if I am going to run cmd ping 192.168.1.95, so you can see that there is no reply from this IP address. Now if you want to access, you have one storefront server and you want to access this website, so how you can do that? So let me quickly delete this. So for that you need to create an cname, you need to create an alias for the internal apps. Now enter where this website need to go, so click on browse, just select this, click on forward lookup join, and now select our storefront server CTXSF server 01, click on OK, apply. So whatever the request on internal apps, he is going to send this on this server. Click on OK, click on refresh. Now let me refresh this website. So sometime the DNS will take some time to refresh the changes. So let me quickly go into cmd ipconfig/flush DNS. So let me wait some more time. So guys, I have closed the browser. Let me reopen it again. Now let me try access again this URL, internal apps cloud.in and you can see that my website is accessible now. So here let me try to access this as a user. And you can see that I am able to log in, but this is like a home lab scenario. In the production environment we do not use this, because generally we will keep two storefront server, load balance into the NetScaler, and then it will configure via the DNS. So how we can do that? So first of all, let me delete this DNS entries, internal apps. So let me delete this. That's fine. Click on refresh. Now let me join my secondary storefront server, so that the same configuration can be replicated on the secondary storefront server. So for that, go to the server group, click on add server, now copy this server name, go on to the secondary storefront server, join existing server, click this server name. So this is my authorizing server, primary server. Now just copy this token code, copy this and put it into secondary storefront server. So click on join. Maybe I have missed some, yeah, I have missed one digit, so just copy and then paste it again here and click on join. So you can see that it's fetching all the information from primary storefront server to the secondary. The same has been populating on primary storefront server as well. So so just wait until this finish. Okay, you can see that joined successfully, so click on OK. Let me refresh it. Okay, it's gone. Let me reopen it again. So I'm going to wait some time so that it can load properly. It's replicating the changes, that's why you can have propagation failed, one or more servers, refer to the event log. Okay, so this is the most common question asked in the while you are giving the interview. So if I am trying to I am going to propagate the changes on secondary StoreFront server and it get failed, so what are the troubleshooting you will do? So let me go into the services.msc. Here you need to go on the Citrix, and you can the cluster join services is disabled, so let me click on automatic, apply, okay, start, and propagation also I'm going to restart. Okay, I'm going to the secondary StoreFront server, go to the services.msc, Citrix, cluster join, click on properties, click on automatic, apply, okay, click on start, propagation, click on restart. Okay, let me go into my first StoreFront server, click on propagate, click on yes, so it will take some time. You can see that the propagation is in progress and propagation has been completed successfully. Click on OK, and you can see that the two green tick mark here, so it's synchronized properly. Click on store, let me go into the secondary StoreFront server and let me open this. So you can see that this time it's fine because the propagation has been fine. So now it's time to load balance these two StoreFront on the NetScaler. For that, let me access my NetScaler. So first of all, let me power on my NetScaler. After this series we are going to cover how to configure NetScaler and everything, but as of now I have already configured this, so let me quickly connect this. So this is the Xen server, and let me power on my first NetScaler. so it will take some time. So meanwhile, just wait. Meanwhile, let me create a DNS entry on the my DNS server. So now we are going, this is the same scenario in production environment. So click a new host entry for the internal apps, and we are giving this IP 192.168.1.95, which is the our NetScaler VIP IP. So I will tell in like few minutes. We will see how to configure the VIP in the NetScaler. So click on add. Again, you can see that my website is not accessible because we have already removed the DNS entries from the DNS server for that, which is redirecting the internal apps to the StoreFront server. Now it's not sending this to the StoreFront server, it's sending again to the 95 IP, and there is no 95 IP exist in my environment, so that's why it's showing this site cannot be reached. So let me quickly log in into my NetScaler. Let me check if it's on. Yeah, it's powering on, so might be take another 2-3 minutes. I'm going to wait. So I think it's fine, it's accessible now. Let me quickly access it via IP address 192.168.1.100, and this is my NetScaler IP. So first of all, let me create a DNS entry for this server as well, for this NetScaler as well in the DNS. So let me create a new host entry ns1, and let me give the IP address 192.168.1.100. click on add and click on refresh. Let me close this and let me access ns1.ctxcloud.in, and you can see that it's accessible via hostname. So let me log in into my NetScaler nsroot, and I have changed the password for this. Okay, now I'm inside my NetScaler. So it's in HA pair, but my secondary StoreFront server is not available right now. So but in my previous, like whenever I was doing the practice few months back, it's in the HA. So first of all, let me go into the traffic management and go to the load balancing and then virtual server. So let me quickly delete all the configuration so that I can show you from the starting how you guys can do that. Okay, so first of all, the virtual IP, which I was saying that this is my DNS, and this is going to send all the traffic from internal apps.ctxcloud.in to 195 IP. So this is the virtual IP in NetScaler. So you can say that virtual server. So let me click on add. I'm going to name StoreFront _VIP virtual IP, and I am going to give this 192.168.1.95. As of now, there is no SSL certificate on our StoreFront, that's why the traffic is going via HTTP. So later on we will see how we can configure this to HTTPS. Click on OK. Now it's going saying that where you want to bind this with the virtual server or server group. So as of now, let me create the virtual server group. So to create the virtual server group, click on add. Now give the name of storefront hyphen svc service hyphen group. Okay, now just scroll down and click on OK. Now it's asking which member group you want to add on this server. So click on member group. So I'm going to add both the storefronts here. So click on server, click on IP based, click on server base. So just wait, let me go to IP based 192.168.1.16. so port number 80. So click on create. Again I'm going to this, click on add the secondary storefront server 192.168.1.17. click on 80, click on create, and let me select both. Select. Okay, this is already binded, so you can see that 2 storefront members has been added. So click on OK and done. Click on bind and continue and done. So you can see that my storefront server VP is green. It's going to 192.168.1.95. Here is the server group svc group. This is enabled and up, it's up, and this is servers. So these are 2 servers, so 192.168.1.16 and 1.17. but this will also work. So let me select this and just let me go into virtual server group, just select this, and here you need to bind 2 policies. First is persistence method. So you can see that this need to be selected source based IP and click on 20, click on OK. Now go to the method, and this is what we are going to select is least connection. The server have the least connection, the connection is going to that server. Let's say we have the 2 storefront server, there are 100 connections on storefront 1 server 1, and there is the 50 connections on storefront 2. So the least load is NetScaler is going to send the traffic on least loaded server. So click on OK and done. Click on save. Now let me try to access my website. http internal apps.ctxcloud.in. so you can see that my website is accessible now. CTXCLOUD/administrator India @4225, and you can see that I'm able to access. As of now there is no resources available. Later on we are going to create MCS and PVS images. So as of now that's fine. My NetScaler is, the traffic is coming via NetScaler. The second way is to configure the NetScaler load balancing is let me remove this because I do not use these methods. I have rarely used this method. So let me quickly delete this. this is the method from top to bottom. Now I am going to configure this bottom to top. So for that, let me first of all check how many physical servers you have to configure the load balancing. So I know I have the 2 StoreFront server. So click on add, give the name of the StoreFront server CTX SFSVR01 and give the IP address 192.168.1.16. click on OK. So you can see that my first StoreFront server is green. Click on add, let me add my second StoreFront server. Click on 02 and then 17. Click on create. So you can see that my both the StoreFront server state is green. So meanwhile, so that you can see that this is communicating via backend server, so that's why it is green. Now go to the service group. So here I am going to create a service group. Click on add. It's the same method as StoreFront -svc and -gp group. Click on OK. Now it's asking how many members you want to bind this group to, how many members. So select the server group members. So I'm going to select server based. Earlier we have seen the IP based, now it's the server based. So select the server. So select here, so click on here and you can check both the servers. So my both the servers is now the part of this group, and on which port number they are working. I know it's working on port number 80. Click on create. If there is no SSL certificate on your StoreFront server, so that's you are going to configure this as an port number 80. Click on OK and done. Now it's time to configure the virtual server. Click on add, create now virtual server IP SF-VIP. Give the IP address 192.168.1.95. click on OK. Okay, it's already exist. Let me give this IP to 16 because this will remove after reboot. Click on OK. Select the server load balancing, the server group. Select the server group, select the SVC. You can see that it's already, because we have already created this service group. Click on select, click on bind, click on continue. Now again we need to add 2 methods here. Select the method, it's the least connection and round robin. Click on OK. Now persistence, we are going to select source based IP and click on OK 20 and OK and done. Click on save. Let me try to access this website. And you can see that it's not accessible because we know the issue, because in our DNS server it's pointing to the 195 IP. You can see that, and there is no 195 IP exist in the binding. So now we need to change it. You can see that its base cannot be reached. Now click on properties and I'm going to change this 196. Click on apply and OK and just refresh it. Now let me refresh this website, so it will take some time. Let me close this. Let me reopen this. Type http internal apps.ctxcloud and you can see that it's back. So this is the basic logic between DNS and NetScaler. If you know this logic, you are able to solve the 100% issues from the StoreFront perspective, from the Citrix perspective. Let me log in this cloud/administrator and India @4225. Now let's see if we have three domains, EMEA, APAC and NASA. You have the three domains, you have the three regions, so every user is not going to enter this EMEA slash administrator or this APAC slash administrator. So how you can configure the domain in like inside this storefront so that it is visible to the users. So let me go into storefront. Go to manage authentication methods. Now here is the username and password, so click here and configure trusted domains. So click on trusted domain. I am adding my domain. If you have the EMEA APAC, you can name it here. Let me name APAC. Let me add EMEA. Let me add APAC NASA. Let me add my original domain CTXCLOUD.in. or you can say CTXCLOUD, that's fine. So show this in the list, click on OK. Now make sure whatever the changes you will do on your primary server, after that click on propagate changes, click on yes. Okay, now my propagation has been done. Let me refresh this website quickly. And you can see that you have option to select your domains. So let me select CTXCLOUD. Here I only need to give my username and then password. Click on login and you can see that login. Let me quickly create a user on my Active Directory so that we can test it from that as well. So let me minimize this and go to the server manager, click on tools, username, users and computers. Let me click a user here, click on user. Let me give Sumit SAHRN Saran, give the name SSAHRN or Sumit.Saran, whatever you want to choose. Click on next. Password never expires, so basically in like companies they will set a user password and so that they can change in our next login. Now just enter the password, click on next and then finish. Just refresh it. Now let me go on my this website, type SSHRN Saran India @4225 and click on login. So this will not log in because it's not the correct domain. So let me select CTXCLOUD and enter the password, click on login and you can see that it's working. So let me quickly log off. So guys, here we have seen that how to configure two StoreFront server and how to load balance them on the NetScaler. So I think this is very helpful for you guys. It's my like personal request to all of you, just subscribe my channel so that I can upload more videos on these Citrix topics and even on the NetScaler. So thank you guys for the supporting me who have already subscribed my channel. So thank you for those, and who are not subscribed, just subscribe my channel, and thank you so much guys.